Hi dear Daolanders, you might think, where is he recording this time? But I am at this moment in Southampton in the Commons, and I'm going to talk to you about a phenomena which you could call the Daoist Heart Sutra. Of course, it is generally known among Daoists in the West that the Chongsen Daoists, they use also the Heart Sutra as it is coming to us from Buddhism, but what people don't usually know is that there is also a specific Heart Sutra-like text, maybe a little bit less metaphysical, but still very much meaning, that has to be recited every day as part of your daily practice, preferably, of course, in the morning. So what I will do in this video is I'm going to read the text for you, and we're going to discuss the content of the text as a topic. I do not mean to say that you have to become a Taoist, even though I am myself. I had made this choice a long time ago, but I want you to take away some of its messaging and also what it might mean for your acupuncture, for your massage, for your Tai Chi Chuan, for your Qigong, for your Kung Fu, or whatever kind of things you do as a Taoist, and how it can help you to improve your practice, but also at the same time how you could make life choices. Jade Emperor Heart Seal Classic. Superior third grade medicine. Shun Qi, hazy and vague. There is no guarding. Formed instantly. Wind turns and mixes. Shun silently worships God 100 years. It ascends to heaven. Those who know easily understand. Those ignorant have a difficult practice. Heaven's light, breathe nurturing clarity. It comes out of the dark, entering the female, seems dead or alive, endless deep roots. Everyone their own Jing. Jing combines with Shun, Shun combines with Qi, Qi combines with body. Truth cannot be found, all are made up names. Shun can enter stone, Shun can fly, body can enter water, without drowning. Body can enter fire without burning. Shun depends on shape. Jing depends on Qi. It is full, not withering, nor decaying. Pines and cypresses are azure. Third level's one principle is wonderful. Cannot be listened to. If it gathers, it exists. If dispersing, it scatters. The 7 orifices connect. Orifices are bright. Holy sun, holy moon, shine on the golden cords. Once you get it eternal. Body is light harmony. Bones are filled with cold. If you get it done, it will be effective. If you don't get it, it will be poured out. Done is in the body, nor white nor azure. Recite it 10,000 times, and the wonderful principle will become clear. When we are looking at the Jade Emperor Heart Seal Classic, you can see there are a lot of different kind of details inside this text that upends a lot of what we think we know about Qigong and Tai Chi Chuan in the West. When we're talking about energy work and stuff like this, according to this classic, practices do not have the purpose to make you feel energy, but it has to make you adjust particular aspects to each other. And the most main thing of this is, as people mostly talk about, Jing, Qi and Shun. But the ordering of Jing, Qi and Shun is not always easy to understand. It is usually explained as a pyramid, where the Jing, Qi and Shun are related to each other and they have to support each other. But in this text it shows clearly, Jing and the Shun, they are connected mutually. And the Shun depends on the form of your body. So that means that the form of your body is depending on your exercises, and if your form is good, then your Shun, your awareness, will also be good. But your form is dependent on the Jing. So you have another triangle there between form, Shun and Jing. Jing, of course, mostly is translated as essence. But the reality is that Jing is essential. This is how it is being explained. But the way how it is being manifested in classical text is that there is this Yin Jing, which you can say this is your physical memory about how to do things and how to maintain form. And this depends on the activity in the interaction with the paw, from the home paw. At the moment when the paw is supporting you, then at that moment your jing can be okay. So it has nothing to do with semen or anything. There's no substance in your body that is like that. It's not a substance that's being produced, but it is an activity that you are performing in your body, and the paw supports that. That means that by exercising in the right way, and to make sure that your body is open, well shaped, then at that moment the paw supports you. But also as a boon, you also have a bigger shun, and then when you have a bigger shun, you start becoming aware of the fact that you are just part of the nature around you. And this is where we do link body practice for, because at the moment when you do link body practice, you actually upgrade your shun and you connect it with nature, you restore your contact with nature. When you look at the text, you see that at the beginning it is said, this is a top level 3rd grade practice. So the idea of connecting back with nature, to do all these kind of things, this is your connection with nature. One other thing that it also points out is that the Jing relates and depends on Qi. So the Jing is depending on Qi in the sense that things have to be done as good as possible. So that means that by doing things and by trying to do them as good as possible according to the nature of the thing as being a living sentient being, then at that moment the Jing will be supported by that. So it's not a matter of just the Po doing that, but it is also a matter of you doing that, and by doing things good, because Qi is a sign of perfection. So at the moment when you do something and you do it really good, not like my videos, because you know you're still learning how to do these kind of things properly, but then at a certain point it will radiate Qi. Qi is not an effect of marketing or of styling according to certain kind of rules, but it is a matter of an organic wholesomeness of something. So for instance, you see sometimes Kung Fu masters, what they do is not aesthetically pleasing. This is what Lao Tzu refers to. He says, like, when a master does something, then at that moment people might laugh at him. So sometimes you see a master and you see him do things and you think like, yeah, it doesn't seem right one way or the other. But if you have some experience and you have good experience with your training, then you start realizing like, but this is how it works. It is not aesthetically pleasing, but the internal aesthetics, the de of it, is actually perfect. And then at that moment you can say somebody has Qi, because he does things according to the Tao, and the Tao is depending on your form also. Your form also helps you relate to Tao, and as a result of Tao you can do things right, and you can develop Jing. You get support from Po, which is a power from earth, and then you have a support also from the Shun, which is more aware of things and helps you to refine things and cultivate further. In the essence, the whole point of the alchemical process, according to the Heart Sutra, is mostly about developing a long life. And you do this primarily by developing your Jing. In all the Daoist classics, also in the Nine Dragon classic, and also in other texts that I will refer to in the future, you see that every time there's a reference to Jing, and reference to Jing is always in the sense of Yang Jing. Yang Jing is the activity of doing something, of shaping the form of your body, of feeding your Shun, your awareness. So at the moment when you do so, let me see if I can open my phone again. Yes. At the moment when you do so, you start noticing that the Shun, at the moment when you start meditating, is actually quite vague. Your awareness, what is my awareness? You know, you think about it, whether you're a Buddhist or a Daoist, or you're just a normal person sitting in the bar behind your beer, you're sometimes considering like, what is actually aware, right? It's like when you're watching into a mirror and you cover the mirror, you can't see yourself, but you know you're on the other side, because if somebody else looks from the side, they can see you. So that has to do with memory. The memory that is present inside your mind and inside other people's mind creates also the way how we interpret the space around us. And at the moment when we are cultivating the Shun, we see that if the form of our body is better, our senses work better. Because our senses work better, we get better information. And as a result of that, we gradually reducing the desires and the fear and the anxieties that are filling up our heart, and our heart becomes empty of all these negative feelings, and that means that the Shun can actually do its right work. And as a result of that, it says at a certain point in the text, if you remember, It talks about the cypresses being azure. The cypresses being azure means basically the cypresses have yang, the trees have yang, right? They are related to your liver, they are related to the nature around the trees in general, they are yang. And there is like in Wuhan, no, in Chengdu, there is this monastery called Qingyangguan. This is the pure yang monastery, and then this the pure and clear actually means azure. So in this case, but at the end of the text it says, well, you know, I will read it for you to repeat it. The dam is in the body, it is nor white nor azure, so it means it's not clean and it's also not pure at that moment. The dam is related to a lot of different kind of factors. We talked about it also in one of the earlier videos about Sangsang Fun's text, and we will talk about it later on also. So I hope this video was very nice for you and that you are going to have a lot of fun in trying to interpret. Go through the text, listen to it many times. If you want to do it as an exercise, write it down for yourself and recite it every day, so that you gradually start getting more and more meanings. And try not to interpret in the way how you're used to interpret, in the way how we in the West we usually do that. We try to interpret it in the way of how the text actually says. What I did with the language also, I didn't adapt it to our normal grammar, filling in all kind of words that are not in the Chinese language, but Western translators usually do, because you change the meaning with it. It's the symbolic association of words in relation to each other, the feeling of it, the poetry of it, which actually has to gradually help you create meaning. Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you are watching this and you are not a paying member for our Patreon, then please have a look. If you are a paying member, thank you very much. If you are watching this on YouTube, and this is a public video after all, then at that moment also join the channel, look up at the Patreon, or come follow the classes where we can discuss these kind of things more in depth also. There will be a lot of treasures in the Shifu guide when you are really interested in this classical text. A lot of the translation text that I use, actually I use for instance in the Yangshan Neidam module, in the Daoist medicine course, or I use them to illustrate aspects of Chinese medicine, anatomy, physiology, the channels and so on and so on. So they will be coming more fragmentary. In the I Ching counselor study, I have a lot of translations. They are all related to yin yang, wu xing, to counseling of course, also to the worldview of Taoism as a whole and of the I Ching as a whole, and how that actually can affect your career and your work, and how you eventually can develop the quality to be able to diagnose according to Chinese medicine, and that otherwise, because of your lack of reason, you have to refer to Western medicine, because the use of Western medicine is not required for anything in Chinese medicine, Tai Chi and Kung Fu. It is just a sign of the fact that you don't really understand what you are talking about, because at the moment when you are interpreting on the basis of a lack of knowledge, you always just do guesswork. It's not really very scientific, nor spiritual.